Hey there, you're watching Briefly Science, where we make complex ideas click. You're walking down a dark street. Something feels off. You can't explain it, no logical reason, no obvious threat, but every cell in your body is screaming at you to turn around. So you do, and you'll never know if you just avoided danger or if it was all in your head. Here's the thing. We make decisions like this all the time. Gut feelings, hunches, intuition, that weird, magical sense that somehow knows things before your conscious mind catches up. But here's what's wild. It's not magic at all. It's your brain running a supercomputer-level analysis in the background while you're busy thinking about lunch. So should you trust your gut? The answer's gonna mess with you a bit, because it's both yes and no. And understanding why might just change how you make every decision for the rest of your life. Let's figure this out. First things first, what even is intuition? I mean, really, think of your brain like an iceberg. The tip, that tiny part above water, that's your conscious mind. The thing you're aware of, your inner monologue, your deliberate thoughts, your careful reasoning. But underneath, there's this massive, dark, churning ocean of processing power you never see. That's where intuition lives. Your brain is constantly absorbing information. Every second, you're taking in about 11 million bits of data through your senses. Sounds, smells, tiny facial expressions, changes in tone, patterns in the environment. Your brain is drowning in information. But here's the kicker. Your conscious mind can only process about 40 bits per second. 40 out of 11 million. So what happens to the rest? Your subconscious handles it. And it doesn't just handle it, it becomes insanely good at it. Over years of living, your brain builds these massive pattern recognition databases. Every experience you've ever had gets filed away. Every face you've seen, every voice you've heard, every situation you've navigated. It's all in there, indexed and ready. When your gut speaks up, that's your subconscious noticing a pattern. Something in the current situation matches something from your past, maybe something you don't even consciously remember, and boom, you get that feeling, that knowing without knowing why. It's not mystical, it's just really, really fast computing. Okay, but here's where it gets interesting. Because if intuition is just pattern matching, when does it actually work? Turns out, intuition shines in specific conditions, and the biggest one is expertise. Think about a firefighter walking into a burning building. They can't explain it, but something feels wrong about the way the fire's behaving. They order everyone out. 30 seconds later, the floor collapses. How did they know? They didn't. Not consciously, but their brain had seen thousands of fires, absorbed countless tiny details about how flames move, how structures fail, how temperature affects materials. When something didn't match the pattern, alarm bells went off. Or take doctors. Studies show that experienced physicians often make accurate diagnoses before they consciously know why. They walk into a room, look at a patient, and think, something's off about this person. Later, tests confirm what their gut already knew. Their intuition isn't guessing, it's accessing years of pattern data. Here's the wild part. Experts often trust their intuition more than their conscious reasoning. And they're right to. When someone has genuinely mastered a domain, their gut is reading signals their conscious mind doesn't even register. A chess grandmaster glances at a board and knows the right move in seconds. They can't always explain why, it just feels right, and it usually is. But, and this is huge, this only works in stable, predictable environments where you've had tons of feedback. Let me say that again. Stable, predictable, tons of feedback, which means there are entire areas where your gut is basically useless. Here's where intuition goes completely off the rails. Stock market predictions. Your gut feeling about which stocks will rise, might as well flip a coin. The market is chaotic, influenced by millions of factors you can't possibly track. Your intuition has no pattern to latch onto because there isn't one. Job interviews. You meet someone for 30 minutes and think, I like this person, they'll be great. Research shows these snap judgments are terribly unreliable. You're not detecting competence, you're detecting charm, confidence, similarity to yourself. Your gut is optimized for making friends, not for predicting job performance. First impressions in general? Pretty awful. We judge people in milliseconds based on superficial cues, attractiveness, how they dress, whether they remind us of someone we know. None of this actually tells you who they are, but it feels so right, doesn't it? And then there's bias. Oh boy, your intuition doesn't just match patterns, it amplifies whatever biases you've picked up. Confirmation bias, availability bias, racial bias, gender bias. All that stuff lives in your subconscious. When you trust your gut in situations where you lack expertise, you're often just trusting your prejudices. Let's be honest, that's uncomfortable. Because we like to think our gut feelings are pure, uncorrupted, authentic. But your intuition is only as good as the data it was trained on. And if you've lived in a world full of stereotypes and assumptions, well, your gut learned those too. So when should you trust your gut? When should you ignore it? Here's the framework that actually helps. Trust your intuition when you have deep expertise in a stable domain. If you're a musician and something sounds off, trust that. If you're a mechanic and a car feels wrong, trust that. If you've navigated a specific type of situation hundreds of times before, your gut has earned the right to speak. But in new situations, when stakes are high and you have no track record, that's when you need to slow down. Analyze, get external perspectives. Your gut might be screaming at you, but it doesn't know what it's talking about yet. There's this concept in psychology called thin slicing, making quick judgments based on limited information. And it works beautifully when you're an expert. But when you're not, thin slicing is just guessing with confidence. The trick is knowing which one you're doing. Let's zoom into the mechanics for a second. What's actually happening in your brain when you get a gut feeling? So there's this thing called the somatic marker hypothesis. Basically, your brain attaches emotional tags to memories. When you experience something, good or bad, your body has a physical response. Increased heart rate, muscle tension, that flutter in your stomach. Your brain links that feeling to the situation. Next time you encounter something similar, your body recreates that response before your conscious mind knows what's happening. That's the gut feeling part, literally. Your stomach, your chest, your muscles, they're signaling based on past experiences. And it happens fast, like really fast. Studies show intuitive decisions can occur in less than 200 milliseconds. Your conscious mind needs several seconds to deliberate, so your gut has already voted before your brain even joins the discussion. But here's the fascinating part. Your gut and your brain aren't always talking to each other properly. Sometimes your gut is reacting to something real. Sometimes it's reacting to anxiety from a completely different source that just feels similar. You walk into a room and feel uneasy. Is it because something's genuinely wrong, or because the lighting reminds you of that awkward party 5 years ago? Your gut can't tell the difference. It just knows this feels like that time. Be careful. Now, let's talk about fear. Because fear and intuition get tangled up in really weird ways. Your brain has an ancient alarm system, the amygdala. It's designed to detect threats before you consciously notice them. Someone steps towards you aggressively, your amygdala fires, adrenaline dumps into your system, and you're already backing away before you think, that person might hurt me. This is good. This kept your ancestors from getting eaten. But in modern life, this same system fires at non-threats constantly. Public speaking, job interviews, first dates. Your gut screams danger when there isn't any. So here's the question. When your gut says danger, how do you know if it's spotting a real threat or if it's just freaking out because you're uncomfortable? Honestly, you kinda can't. Not in the moment. That's why the best approach is this. Listen to your gut, but don't obey it blindly. Your intuition gets a vote, not a veto. If something feels wrong, pay attention, but then investigate. Use your conscious mind to check whether the threat is real or if your amygdala's just being dramatic. Think of intuition as a smoke detector. When it goes off, you should definitely check. But you don't evacuate the building before looking for fire. Sometimes it's real danger. Sometimes it's just burnt toast. Let's get philosophical for a second, because there's this deeper question lurking here. In a world increasingly dominated by data and algorithms, where AI can outperform human intuition in many domains, does your gut still matter? I mean, kinda, yeah. Because humans aren't just prediction machines, we're meaning-making creatures. We navigate social relationships, ethical dilemmas, creative challenges, messy stuff that doesn't reduce to data. Your gut feeling about whether to trust someone, that's picking up on micro-expressions, tone shifts, body language, things current AI still struggles with. Your intuition about whether a creative idea resonates, that's drawing on your entire lived experience in ways no algorithm can replicate. Yet. But here's the thing. We can't use humans have intuition as an excuse for lazy thinking. Because the future belongs to people who can blend intuition with analysis, fast thinking and slow thinking, System 1 and System 2. You know that feeling when you're solving a problem and suddenly the answer just clicks? That's your intuition and your analytical mind working together. Your gut narrows down possibilities, spots patterns. Your conscious mind tests them, verifies, refines. The magic isn't intuition alone. It's intuition plus deliberation. So where does this leave us? Your gut is an incredible tool. Millions of years of evolution packed into that weird feeling in your stomach. It can spot danger in milliseconds, recognize patterns you don't consciously see, navigate social situations with shocking accuracy. But it's also flawed, biased, overconfident, terrible at predicting random events, scared of things that aren't actually threats. Should you trust your gut? Sure, but also interrogate it. Ask why it feels that way. Check if you actually have expertise in this domain. Look for evidence that confirms or contradicts it. Be willing to be wrong. Your intuition is like having a really smart friend who's brilliant in some areas and totally clueless in others. You listen to them, you value their input, but you don't let them make all your decisions. Because here's the beautiful paradox. The more you understand your intuition, the better it gets. When you study how your gut works, when you learn about cognitive biases, when you deliberately train your pattern recognition, you're actually upgrading your subconscious. You're teaching your gut to be wiser. And that's kind of amazing. You can improve an unconscious process through conscious effort. You can make your intuition more trustworthy by understanding when not to trust it. Looking at the big picture, intuition is one of the most human things about us. It's the bridge between our animal past and our analytical present. It's how we navigate a world too complex for pure logic, but too important for random guessing. Maybe the real question isn't, should you trust your gut? Maybe it's, how do I train my gut to be worth trusting? And the answer? Experience, feedback, reflection, humility, expertise in areas that matter to you, awareness of your biases, willingness to check your instincts against reality. Your gut isn't magic, but when properly calibrated, trained, and balanced with conscious thought, it's pretty close. So next time you get that feeling, that inexplicable knowing, pause, listen to it, but also question it. Your gut's trying to tell you something. It might be right, it might be wrong, but it's definitely worth hearing out. Because in the end, you're not just your gut, and you're not just your brain, you're the conversation between them. And that conversation, that's where the real magic happens. If your gut's telling you that you enjoyed this video, maybe listen to it and hit that subscribe button for Briefly Science. We're here every week, making sense of the weird, wonderful science behind everyday life. See you in the next one.